Welcome to Wawa Wire. Today we're talking about a situation that, well, it really makes you question where the line is drawn between upholding national symbols and what some might see as, frankly, an overreaction.
Definitely.
When a dental clinic, a place meant for healing and community service, faces a month-long shutdown simply because a flag was inadvertently hung upside down, it truly makes you ponder what kind of message we're sending about patriotism here in Malaysia.
Mm,
Is this really about fostering genuine respect, or does it inadvertently cultivate maybe a bit of fear?
that's the core question, isn't it?
What are your thoughts on this? Do you believe the punishment truly fits the perceived offense? We want to hear your perspective. Okay, let's unpack this a bit. We're talking about a private dental clinic in Panchen Town Center.
Right.
And it got into hot water because the Malaysian flag, the Jalur Gemilang, was found hanging upside down there. And of course, this just blew up on social media.
Yeah, it went viral very quickly. And what's fascinating here is how fast the situation escalated. The Pontian Municipal Council's enforcement team, they moved in almost immediately.
How fast are we talking?
Well, the shutdown order for 30 days was issued effective immediately at 8:20 a.m. that same day. So really swift action based on those social media posts.
Wow. Okay, so what was the Panchen Municipal Council's official reasoning for coming down so hard so quickly?
According to the council chairman, Abdul Aziz, the clinic was found in violation of
Okay, the 2019 Panchen Municipal Council Commercial and Industrial Business License bylaws.
exactly. And he specifically pointed to the part that requires businesses to display the national or state flags correctly, especially during national celebrations.
And the appeal process.
He did mention the owner could appeal, but the final say ultimately rested with him, the chairman. So a pretty firm stance.
Right. But here's where it gets complicated because the police offered a different initial take on it.
Yes, that's a really crucial point. The Panchen Deputy Police Chief, Abdul Hamid, stated that their preliminary investigation suggested it was not intentional.
Not intentional. So what did they think happened?
They basically put it down to negligence, or maybe just an error by the staff who put the flag up. Simple human error, essentially. They did bring in 4 staff members for questioning, which is standard, and they're investigating under, I believe, Section 5 of the Emblems and Names Act and Section 14 of the Minor Offenses Act. So the focus seems to be on improper use due to oversight, not, deliberate disrespect.
Okay, so council says bylaw violation, immediate shutdown. Police say likely unintentional mistake. That difference alone is telling. And this whole thing, especially the shutdown, it definitely didn't go unnoticed by political figures.
Oh, absolutely not. It drew swift and pretty sharp criticism. Let's start with the MCA vice president and also the Punch member of parliament, Wijek, saying he weighed in quite strongly.
Right, being the local MP, what was his main argument?
He strongly argued that this looked like an unconscious mistake and shouldn't lead to such excessive punishment. He really emphasized the human cost.
How so?
Well, forcing a small clinic to close for 30 days directly impacts the employees' livelihoods. And what about the patients? People with urgent appointments suddenly left hanging.
That's a very practical point.
Exactly. He felt enforcement should be more about education, giving guidance, not heavy fines or shutdowns, especially since the police had already indicated it wasn't deliberate. And he also urged people not to turn it into a racial thing, just to stay calm and rational.
And his party colleague, Taneng Meng, the MCA Pecan Manus Assemblyman, he felt similarly.
Yes, he echoed that sentiment. Taneng Meng also put out a statement calling the 30-day suspension overly strict.
So what did he propose?
He called on the Panchen Municipal Council to let the clinic reopen as soon as the police finished their investigation, basically saying the punishment shouldn't preempt the investigation's findings. He repeated the idea that, yes, displaying the flag is important for patriotism, but honest mistakes need advice and correction, not penalties that could crush a small business.
It's interesting. We even had a local council member, MCA's Panchen Municipal Councilor Chang, expressing surprise.
Yeah, that was quite notable. Chang mentioned he only found out about the mayor's decision to close the clinic that morning.
So it wasn't discussed beforehand.
Apparently not. He stressed that this specific action, the shutdown, was never discussed or brought up in any prior council meetings. He was surprised, especially since the police had sort of clarified the night before that it seemed accidental.
So even within the council structure, there might have been some disconnect.
It seems that way. He did say they weren't avoiding responsibility, but would follow up. He also asked the public not to boycott the clinic or get too emotional about it, basically trying to cool things down.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting because the former Malaysian anti-corruption chief commissioner, Latheefa Koya, she weighed in. And her take was pretty forceful.
Oh, absolutely. Latheefa Koya didn't mince words at all. She flat out called the 30-day closure absurd, ultra vires, meaning beyond the council's legal powers and outright illegal.
Illegal. That's a strong claim.
Very strong. She argued the punishment was completely disproportionate and, crucially, irrelevant to the actual mistake. Her point was that shutting down a business like this might actually exceed the regulatory powers given to local councils by law. So not just too harsh, but potentially unlawful.
And she also raised a point about the sort of ripple effect of this, didn't she? Beyond just this one clinic.
Yes, and it's a really sobering one. First, she pointed out the immediate victims, the patients needing urgent treatment, now forced to reschedule.
Right. The human cost again.
Exactly. But then she made this broader, quite chilling statement. Now everyone is afraid to hang flags.
Wow. That really lands, especially thinking about National Day.
Precisely. She warned that if this is the kind of reaction businesses face for an honest mistake, we might end up seeing only government buildings flying the flag come National Day. Individuals, businesses, they might just be too scared.
Fearful of making a mistake.
Yeah. And she said, if that happens, you really can't blame the public. She urged the local authorities to immediately review their decision, warning that this kind of action undermines public trust and hurts innocent people.
So we have this real clash here. The municipal council citing bylaws, acting decisively, the police suggesting it was just negligence, and then a whole range of political figures, from MCA reps to Latheefa Koya, saying the punishment is excessive, maybe even illegal. What does this all mean for the average person just trying to follow the rules?
What really throws into sharp relief the tension between, let's say, the letter of the law, or the bylaw in this case, and maybe the spirit of it. Respecting the flag, the Jalur Gimilang, is vital. Nobody disputes that. But the swift, severe administrative action here, especially when put against the police finding of simple negligence, it does suggest a kind of disconnect. Does this kind of heavy-handedness actually foster unity and pride? Or does it, as Latheefa Koya warned, create anxiety, make people afraid?
Especially for small businesses who might feel particularly vulnerable.
Exactly. That fear of being afraid to hang flags isn't trivial. It touches on how people feel about participating publicly in national life. If the response to a mistake is potentially devastating, it could dampen that participation.
Yeah, and looking at the bigger picture, this isn't just about one flag at one clinic, is it? It's about how administrative power is used, how rules are interpreted, and how that impacts everyday lives and people's sense of fairness.
Absolutely. When you see politicians from different sides, plus a figure like a former anti-corruption chief, all raising serious concerns about the proportionality and legality, it signals this isn't just a minor administrative issue. It speaks to broader questions about governance.
It really highlights that tension between needing clear rules and regulations, but also needing discretion, proportionality, and maybe a bit of common sense in applying them. Is the goal punishment, or is it fostering genuine respect and participation? This incident seems to force that question.
It really does. It's a stark example of how a seemingly contained local incident can quickly spiral into a national conversation about fundamental principles, how we express patriotism, how authority should be wielded, and what justice looks like on the ground.
Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this.